I overheard Matt talking when I was watching on YouTube how he joined Blue Sky, and I've sort of been in that same mindset of like Twitter as a platform, like the makeup of it is very different now, and like I'm not like just complaining because like, oh, Elon Musk, I hate him and I don't want to be on his platform. No, because I stayed around for quite a while after he acquired the platform. It's more than just Elon Musk buying it. It's how the platform has changed in the subsequent year and a half since he's bought it. And obviously his like changes have affected that makeup of Twitter. But like, it's not just because a guy I'm not a fan of bought it. It's because of what has happened to it. And I think like maybe if anything else was happening in the world, I could have dealt with it just like every other thing that's ever happened on Twitter. Like I've faced all sorts of like harassment, doxing on Twitter before. It's nothing new, but like I'm just not in the mood to argue with the new Twitter makeup of Twitter over whether innocent Palestinian people are full human and deserve to live a life. So like I've never been on Twitter less. Like I still check it because so many news media outlets use it, and it's an important way that I've developed over the years to keep up with the news. But in terms of me actively using it, I had to step away for a little bit. I don't post as much. Maybe something will reinvigorate my passion for getting into the weeds and shit posting on Twitter. But right now, I stepped away. It's just not fun anymore.
No, it still retains some of its utility for the reasons you said about like the journalists, but just as a network, it's degraded.
Oh, it's not a network anymore, and you can barely have real conversations in that.
Well, I mean,
technically,
objectively, like, but it's just like not as useful of a one as it used to be, and it's still one that you kind of have to be in this profession to like interact with like the news and get people to notice commentary and stuff like that. But I am actively on other ones because it's less useful than it used to be, and I'm hoping or I'm looking for what comes next. Because it's like phones, like everybody knows that their phones, like dial up or landline, or I don't even know what the terminology is, the actual phone service, nobody answers their phone anymore because it's all scam calls. We should not be so I guess blasé about the fact that these communications networks are being degraded right in front of our eyes. And think about what that means, for instance, a world where there's more natural disasters or a political unrest. Like, it's not good.
Well, it's not funny to me that these parody accounts with fake news are like the top thing that's suggested, and that there are bots that are basically the first and last people that are commenting on posts and clearly there to drum up engagement. You know, like I had like a provocative tweet yesterday that some people picked up on, where I was saying how I was just getting fired up listening to all these liberals talk about the two-state solution, and I basically said that's just a continuation of apartheid. I could have elaborated a little bit more, but I forgot Elon gave me my blue check back, so now people actually see my tweets. But yeah, I mean,
you were complaining about being shadow banned a few weeks ago.
Well, and then he gave my blue check back, and I'm like, oh crap! Now I'm getting all this engagement, and it's really mostly from right wingers, and that's what's populated the site. Just elaborating on that point a little bit, if in the past, I think Twitter could have been a place where we had a conversation about what I mean by that, which I was being provocative intentionally, but it's more just about how a two-state solution is basically a virtual impossibility because Palestinians live 3 million in the West Bank, 2 million in Gaza, within greater Israel, because Israel controls all of that territory, whether it be through blockade or military occupation. And to draw lines along 1967 borders, which I still think is a pipe dream that won't happen, but even if that were to happen, I have zero faith that wouldn't be done under under an apartheid-like structure, and it also further cements the land seizure from the Palestinians so that they don't have the bordering sea there, which is really important for economic prosperity and trade routes and things like that. Not to make this about that conversation, but I do think that in the past, Twitter could have been a place where we did discuss that. Now it's really just like, I'm learning the hard way. It's not the place.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to get into
I will
that?
say, Emma, that I finally get sports. These past couple of months, I've just been, I've used it to just like get my mind off of all the terrible shit in a way that I never really was drawn to it. The NHL finals with Oilers coming back, interestingly, changing. They started winning on the day Donald Trump mentioned the Florida Panthers for the first time ever.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah, he right as Game 4 started, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social about how, the Florida Panthers are playing great ice hockey and how great they are and what a great team they are. And ever since then, they've lost. We had the Mets with their little grimace run. It's been a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad you're participating in the opiate of the masses, sports now. So
I get it now.
Yeah.
It only took me 37 years, but I get it now.
I genuinely think sports is a substitute nationalism that isn't entirely negative in the effect that it has in society as that. But that's just a thesis by somebody who loves sports.
Well, I love sports, and I guess there's a part of me that just is drawn to the fact that it's a community like that you can be a part of, right? Where it's connected to the city and the area I grew up in, and it's other people who are interested in the same thing, and I get to converse and have conversation. And it is, as you say, maybe like a substitute for broader social cohesion that we just don't have in this society at all.
That's how I feel when I'm watching slap fighting. Like I'm part of something larger than myself.
That's how I feel when I watch one Eastern European guy fight two smaller Eastern European young ladies at the same time in a cage. I don't know if anybody saw that on TikTok, but
I did not see that, but I did hear you say young ladies.
I'm sorry.
Next, you're going to be calling underwear panties, and we'll be really, really deep into the manosphere.
That's also coming out of Eastern Europe right now.
Yeah, it's like the Eastern European Russian MMA world where they're still dabbling in professional wrestling with their MMA organizations. It's very, very odd.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.